Good morning Terraria players and welcome to the Calamity mod, but with a special twist. I am Bladeburger, the prime example of why some people should not be allowed to make content. In today's episode, we begin the Calamity mod, but with a challenge of course. We're taking on the 1 block challenge in this series. Here's the list of all the mods that are used in this run. As it is episode 1, every mod I have is included. A few small notes about this series, as its mod list is up on screen. There will be no review for Calamity after this playthrough, as it's a weird challenge and the mod can't really be fully explored. A second note is that I'll be doing Calamity again very shortly. It'll be in queue after the 2 other mods that follow this series. Now the intro is out of the way, let's get into the mod, starting with an explanation on this challenge, a few rules I have set for myself, and a couple of clarifications. Let's get into it. To start off, what is the 1 block challenge? This mod, created by Jabon for 1.3, removes the entire world and leaves just a single block. The 1 block mines infinitely for a pool of blocks. The pool expands throughout progression. For example, after killing Skeletron, ash blocks, hellstone, and obsidian are added to the 1 block. The challenge is to construct the world from scratch and beat the game. A chest spawns exactly 100 blocks to the left that contains the Goblin Army Summoner, a bunch of biome seeds, acorns, water, and lava. Vanilla boss summons can all be crafted by hand as well. Of course, we have Calamity added on, so it'll be a much harder challenge. To make it even harder, I added some restrictions. To start, the Architect from Alchemist NPC and the Lumberjack from Fargus Mutant mod are disabled. Can't make it too easy. Secondly, crates can be crafted through the 1 block mod, however I will not be using Fargus Mutant to craft from the crates. All crates must be actually opened. The only things to be crafted using crates are the ones that the 1 block challenge mod adds, like the Queen Bee Summoner and Life Crystals. As for a few clarifications, we need to talk about Heroes mod and cheesing in items. If I have the capability to craft something, but it requires a station that I cannot physically obtain, such as a demon altar, I will cheese the item in. The best example is the Desert Scourge summon item. For other times I must cheese in items, they'll just be building blocks pretty much. To make the house in this playthrough, I made the frame with blocks I had mined from the 1 block, then the walls were cheesed in because that would take so many resources to make the walls. Also, like 2 stacks of dirt or something were cheesed in too, so I could build the world easier using the plans I made before I started recording. Any other use of Heroes mod will be noted throughout the series. Now that we have all these rules for myself and some clarifications, let's get into the playthrough. This series will be a long one, as it has a lot of setups and explaining, as well as me trying to reduce the number of boss fights per episode so they don't run a whopping 30 minutes again. To start this challenge off, I made a medium expert mode world and activated Revengeance Mode, the optional difficulty for Calamity mod. Similar to Anarchy mode from the Anarchist mod, this is the intended difficulty of the mod. It adds new mechanics to bosses, new items, and even a rage and adrenaline mechanic to make bosses more intense. Rage builds up as you're near enemies and allows you to hit a hotkey to gain 35% more damage for a few seconds. Adrenaline builds up during boss fights as you don't take damage. Taking damage sets it back to 0. The reward for getting it full? You can hit a hotkey to get a whopping 200% damage increase according to the wiki. Insane! Now let's get back to the run. I quickly grabbed the items in the chest, built a small set of starter houses, and got to work, planting some seeds and an acorn. As I am not the smartest, I made a mistake immediately, not connecting all 10 grass seeds. Am I dumb? Yes, I am a sentient burger after all. Regardless of that, a tree still grew, and I knew this playthrough would work. After a while of adding small houses, getting a few NPCs, and mining more, I started to lay the foundation for the desert, as I needed it to be able to fight the first Calamity boss, the Desert Scourge. I didn't have enough sand at the time, so it was small to start. Next up, fishing. Everyone loves it, but it was necessary for this run to get certain things later on. I found out that life crystals could be crafted out of a few wood crates. I didn't craft up to the max health yet as I didn't want the Eye of Cthulhu to spawn. During the builds, I was able to kill enough Wolfrin drones, a new enemy in Calamity, to make a full set of Summoner Wolfrin armor, as I wanted to do Summoner run for this mod, and leave just Ranger to play in the next mod, or the modded class in that mod that I'm doing next, but well, throwing is boring. Don't want to do that, so probably Ranger. The armor that I made gave a minion slot, and its set bonus gave 3 defense, and another 5 defense if you go under 50% life. It's a start. I then decided to AFK mine for a while to get a bunch of materials, about 12 hours or so, split over the course of like a day. or two. After the AFK mining, I was able to craft a ton of crates. Golden crates could be made from 10 platinum bars, 10 gold bars, and 15 of each of their ores. Wood crates could be made from wood, gold ore, and platinum ore. Now, let's do a loot box opening. Woohoo! The haul for this one was quite a number of greater healing potions, a magic mirror, and some sailfish boots. Pretty solid, but I didn't quite get the tsunami in a bottle that I needed. And now, a set of building montages with a mini snow biome, an expansion to the desert, and a build I had in mind for the series. I am not a master builder, by the way. Now that a good amount of the house was done, I crafted a ton more wood crates, opening them and getting the last thing I needed before I start the bosses, the tsunami in a bottle. I then went back to building, adding more to the desert to get ready to fight the Desert Scourge. The house was also finished. With all the sand I had, I crafted the Sun Spirit Staff, a summon weapon that created a turret over your head. To get ready to start on the bosses, I also made the Spirit Glyph as well. It's a great summon accessory that gave random buffs when a summon you control deals damage. Next up, I felt ready to take on the King Slime. Let's get ready to the fight, the first one in this series. King Slime down. Easy peasy. I then used all the life crystals I have been slowly stashing up over time, getting the max life with them. Next up, I got ready for the Desert Scourge, killing a few storm lions for their mandibles. They spawned in the underground desert, which I was successfully able to create. The main issue, however, was that the summon item for the Desert Scourge, the Desert Medallion, required a demon altar to craft, which I didn't have access to at this point. Since I had all the materials and was just prepared to fight it, I just grabbed the Desert Medallion through Heroes Mod instead of grabbing an altar. I'd get an altar later. I crafted the Frost Blossom Staff out of ice, snow, and shiver thorns. When I was getting ready for the Desert Scourge, an evil presence started watching me. Well, I guess we gotta go out of order. This also means I'll have access to the Dryad, which is a huge win for this run, as she sells seeds. Enjoy the fight. Eye of Cthulhu down. It held a new weapon in his treasure bag, the Death Stare Rod, which was another turret weapon that fired through blocks and had a ridiculous range. It dealt a lot more damage than the other summon weapons I had, so it was a very strong addition to my arsenal. Next up, the Dryad spawned pretty quickly, allowing me to buy seeds to expand the purity massively. Instead of building a wood platform across the world, I decided to make a dirt layer in which I could grow trees on, and act as a start for any hollow or astral biome to spawn. It also looks nice. And now, as usual with this channel and my videos, we get right into the next boss, the Desert Scourge, the first modded boss. Let's get into this. Desert Scourge down. In this treasure bag, it contains a sandy angler kit, which held some fishing rewards, some victory shards, a crafting material, coral, starfish, seashells, and some sand. It also held a weapon from its loophole and its expert mode item, which made most ocean enemies friendly and granted water breathing, but not in the abyss. Why did it hold all the ocean stuff? They went into a modded armor set, the Victide set. I needed a refight to craft it to round out this episode. The summon armor gave buffs to minions. Its set bonus gave you a minion slot, gave life regen and extra minion damage when submerged in water, made a small buddy over your head, and allowed your weapons to fire a returning seashell when using a weapon. Unfortunately, the seashell thing was useless. And with that, we finish off this first episode. Let's take a look at some upgrades made. I started with the Squirrel Staff, then the Wolfrin Remote, to the Sun Spirit Staff and the Death Stare Rod. For armors, we started with the Wolfrin Armor, then went to Victide. For accessories, we added the Spirit Glyph, Sailfish Boots, Tsunami in a Bottle, and a few other starter accessories. To finish off this episode, let's take a small sneak peek at the next episode. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next week. I'll see you all in the next one. Blade Burger out.